Today, I thought we would take a little bit of time and just commit. Whether you have started to resolve towards some positive changes in the new year, or you're a little behind and still just reflecting. There's a lot of pressure this time of year as far as getting fit and eating right, and all the marketing caters to that. So you know sometimes being accountable is the best way, and being consistent. And it's not always the size of the goal. Just take one step forward, and the size of that step is going to vary for everybody based on perhaps you're dealing with some setbacks that you're recovering from, or perhaps you've got some health issues that lead to some chronic issues, and traditional things just aren't for you. So today I want to talk briefly about just getting motivated. If you are joining me today, I've invited you to share your resolutions, or if you've had some success in starting, or perhaps you had a good 2022. I want to motivate, inspire, and just kind of lift each other up today. So I am, of course, going to relate back into some Life Pro things. And I do want to stress that it's not always about a big fitness plan. There's a lot of weight and pressure on us to get fit and get active. And if you're in Canada like I am, and it's 30 below and there's 4 feet of snow out there, sometimes it's a little challenging, and we need to get creative, or maybe dust off some of the things that have been sitting in the closet. So the first thing I'm going to talk about as far as setting goals and getting motivated. And again, if you're just joining me today, please tell me if you have some resolutions. This is my way of helping you be accountable. And I am here if there's help that you need specifically in getting started with your Life Pro tools. If you find they're collecting dust. We had a really good discussion in one of my groups this morning about, because it's the new year, it's kind of that mental, I need to get started again. Please don't beat yourself up if you're not working out. Start moving and feeling better first, especially if you're dealing with chronic conditions. So back to the activity piece, of course, my preference is in any way, shape, or form vibration plates. Vibration plates are a great way to get things moving. If you do choose that you want to work out, you have bigger fitness goals, what you do on a vibration plate, which I refer to as an environment, is really only limited by your imagination and your range of motion. And today, in talking about vibration plates, I wanted to just cover a resource that maybe not all of you are aware of. Life Pro launched a poster on Amazon. I was happy to be a part of this project. And some of us are visual learners. I'm old school, and I'm not always using apps, and I don't always have my TV on. I like to have a piece of paper I can stick on the wall. I can make notes on. A lot of my clinics like that type of a structure where, maybe you don't have a tablet or a device to look at things on the internet. Something like this is a really good tool if you are a practitioner or a wellness or a fitness center that is using Life Pro plates. This first in a series of many coming are not only designed to help motivate you, but not all of us are coming from a big background of fitness. I certainly wasn't when I got into these machines. I was always very active, but I didn't, have a purpose or a plan all the time. This getting started poster that is available on Amazon, Jen, if I can't get a link to you guys right now during the session, I'll make sure that I leave one to this on how you can access it through Amazon. But it's got an example of a little bit of a warm up. There's some lower body exercises. There's some upper body exercises. There's some core specific exercises, and there's some massage. So this is just a little sample. Maybe you've been looking for something new. Maybe you're getting bored or stagnant with the routine that you have been doing, or maybe your personal situation has changed and you need to take a step back, or you're ready to take a step forward. So just like going to the gym, there's a whole different level of intensity that's going to vary between users based on your goals and what type of body you're starting with. Okay, so this isn't necessarily super challenging for everyone, and it might be super hard for some of you, but it's designed to give everyone a basic starting point to get into some good habits early. And if you want to be successful with your vibration plate in the new year, the biggest tip that I'm going to give you isn't even what you're doing on it or for how long or what setting, is to just get started and consistently spend a little bit of time on it every day, even if it's just 30 seconds to a minute before you're heading out the door to work, or a minute or two after you're coming home after a big shopping trip. Getting lymph and circulation moving, especially over the last couple of weeks where we've been eating and running around, and many of us have not adhered to a routine in any kind of shape or form. Your vibration machine is just as much a wellness and a therapeutic tool as it is a fitness tool. So, don't beat yourself up if you are not working out every day on your machine or using your other strength and cardio equipment. Just get started, even at a basic level, get things moving and start building those energy levels to prepare for the longer term goals. Another range of tools, vibration plates can cover a lot of different things. Hello, Facebook user. I'm going to leave some room for questions and perhaps some challenges towards the end. I want everybody, if you are looking for help or for some reason you haven't been using your Life Pro tools, perhaps there's a reason. Maybe you had your spook, or maybe you overdid it the first time, or maybe you don't even know where to start. So I'm going to leave some time for questions at the end of this. I'm here to get you motivated and start the new year with a little bit more movement and just improve your situation above where you are. I don't want to use the word fitness today because it doesn't necessarily appeal to everybody this time of year, although the pressure is on. So again, if you are joining me from elsewhere, please let me know where you are joining me from. And if you've made any New Year's goals for yourself, fitness, feel good, mental health, whatever those may be. So the next category of products I want to move on to, other than the fitness and the feel good potential with vibration plates, is red light therapy. The bigger category being light therapy, because Life Pro is really diversified in 2022 from where they started in the year. I've brought a few packages today just to illustrate the diversity in their products and some of the differences between them. So light therapy is a passive, non-invasive. There's really very few people that can't benefit from using red light in some shape or form. I will highlight if you've been managing pain or you haven't been getting active because of chronic conditions. Red light in complement with other tools or as a standalone is a really great way to address chronic concerns, maybe deal with things on a maintenance level so you can get more active. If you're dealing with recent surgery or you've had an injury, there's lots of ways that red light can cover anything from just feel-good applications to actually expediting recovery and healing effects so you can get back to your activities sooner. So one of the tools I want to talk about, which many of you are familiar with, is the LumiCure. There's two different LumiCures. There's the regular model, there's the LumiCure Pro, and then there's also the BioHeal. I hope I'm getting the name right, which is more designed for, it's got a fine tip. It's being marketed as a cold sore device, but we're using it for teeth and ears and everything else. These the wands, the pen style, the torches are what I would call a high intensity red light tool. So if your goals for the new year are to get rid of the darn pain or the swelling, red light is something to consider. Where the torches come in as an ideal tool, there's never one tool that's going to treat every condition or be maybe the best complement for every goal that you have. In theory, if you have a red light tool, you can use it for any of the benefits that red light is promoting, but there are some differences within the light spectrums and how often and how long you'd be using these tools. So the torches are a high intensity tool. They're more designed for super fast, I need relief right now treatments. Perhaps you're busy and you don't have a lot of time to spend. These are going to be great for things like joint pain. My thumb has been giving me all kinds of grief the last couple of weeks with all the potatoes I'm peeling. And it's as I've gotten, you hit 50 and everything changes, let me tell you. So I've had a lot of pain and I like using my torch on the go. It's something I can carry with me. I wasn't necessarily in my routine the last couple of weeks, but my main reason I like using the LumiCure is it's quick. I have the attention span of about this much. So, 2 to 3 minutes just to target that. I also have a little kink in my neck I get from time to time. For those of you that are dealing with neuropathy or painful conditions, this is a very quick way to target a small area to get relief fast. So this is what I refer to as a high intensity tool. This also offers infrared. So the visual light spectrums, the colors, anything you're seeing in the reds, the blues, the ambers, the purples, when you see that type of terminology, the visual light spectrums tend to be more skin surface, and there's mental benefits as well. It's infrared, the lights, the spectrum that you cannot see, that goes a little bit deeper below the surface. So, where the pain's a little bit deeper, perhaps we're mitigating scar tissue, expediting healing. So you've got both options available on this tool. The reason I started with infrared, that was to my lead into my next one. So the next little tool, and it's probably the only red light tool of Life Pros that I have, or not red light, light therapy tool that I haven't played with. This, for those of you that are using the Legra, the compression massager, this is similar body part. Obviously, this is designed to fit onto your hand, but this is more based on light therapy. So for those of you that maybe have sensitivities, it's tender to touch, and you found perhaps that the compression perhaps was not for you. I like a deep massage, so that product really appeals to me. This is very hands-free. You're not going to feel it needing or pushing. This is light therapy. You're going to get the infrared on this. It's like a neoprene little glove. I'm not going to be able to take it out with my big long fingernails. You just watch. So yeah, this is very slick. This is rechargeable. It's very lightweight. So for those of you that are dealing with, inflammation and whatever symptoms that is presenting, perhaps swelling, pain, perhaps lack of sensation, perhaps there's Raynaud's or neuropathy type symptoms. I think that you will find this is a game changer. It's a wearable, so you can still walk around and do your day. You can take it to the office with you. It's very lightweight, and this just charges up in the front here. There's a little lithium charge on this, so it's not even something you need to connect to the wall. So I'm looking forward to playing with this in the new year. As I said, I have been using the LumiCure. I'm looking at using this and committing. My commitment is to spend more than 5 minutes doing something in the course of a day. So I tend to, with my new saunas and some of these other therapies, I'm good for about 10, 15 minutes, and then the kids are screaming or the dogs are barking. So I'm going to commit to more me personal time. And part of how I do that is I have to be accountable to you guys and let you guys know how this is working out. So this one I'm looking forward to, as is my husband. So this is going to be what I call a less intense treatment than the torches. The difference between this and some of other light therapies, something like the BioHeal, if you guys are using the panels, these are more longer treatment times. So these are less intense, and they are designed for longer treatment. If your goals are things like weight loss, skin tone, versus chronic pain, and I need relief right now, you will find the benefits of using the treatments that are longer, your saunas, your panels, the Infragirl lamp. Those type of things are designed to have a longer treatment time, a little bit more of a relaxation effect. So, when I say technically you can use red light to treat anything, just as an example, yes, you technically could use this for weight loss, but it's going to take you a heck of a long time to cover the amount of real estate that you would need to accelerate the effects, as opposed to something like the BioHeal or the infrared belt. So just to give you an example. And when you're starting out with light therapy, just like the vibration plates, everybody's going to adapt differently. How long, how often. If you have a chronic issue, you really can't overdo light therapy. You can overdo maybe time in a sauna, how long you're going, everybody's metabolism and how much they sweat, and your tolerance and comfort levels are different. So I would suggest, starting out kind of an every other day, 15 to 20 minutes, and see how things are going. If you're using a tool like the torch or things like that with more chronic issues, resolve to be consistent this year. Again, notice that not fitness, not workout, be consistent, especially if you're using these tools for chronic concerns, and those chronic concerns have been keeping you away from this active lifestyle that you're entitled to be living. So use these tools. This is your butt kick. This is your check-in. If you've been stagnant or life has gotten in the way, that's okay. Let's look through the windshield and move forward versus looking through the rearview mirror and beating ourselves up about what you didn't do last year. Let's keep looking forward. Again, I'm going to get to some questions. Please let me know where you are joining me from, and if there's anything I can do to help get you motivated in the new year. The last bit of tools that I want to talk about, or category of tools with Life Pro, is their compression garments. So for those of you that are dealing with a healing situation, perhaps you're wearing compressions now, you tend to have swelling or stagnant lymphatic systems. There's a variety of compression garments. Some offer heat, some do not. Some are more compact. A lot of my clients in my groups use the leg massagers. So, there's a calf version, just a booty size. There's a full leg. Some have heat on the kneecaps. Really, you can sort of you don't need to break the bank to get into a lot of these products. But, having a variety of choices that can very well complement off of each other might just be what you're resolving to change this year. So instead of looking at everything as, something I've got to do, look at it as something that you deserve. Start moving and feeling better. And, we'll get into the workout and the big goals later on. But if you're dealing with pain or fear or poor balance, there's many, many things that shy us away from getting active and living life to our full potential. Sometimes we just need a little bit of maintenance and spot treatment. And many of you have these tools. So I'm just trying to get into your subconscious and ignite those fires of getting you motivated again. So in my world, on Mondays, it's Q&A Monday. I'm here to help get you motivated and moving with a lot of the tools that many of you have now. If there are tools that you've been considering, but perhaps have been shying away because of chronic issues, I want to hear what your concerns are. There's usually a way with any of Life Pro's tools that if you modify for conditions that you are dealing with, you can still gain a lot of benefits. So don't assume just because you had a hip replacement last week or you fell off your bike the week before that you have to stop doing all of your therapies. There's lots of ways that you can use them to not only expedite recovery, but just give yourself some energy, lift your spirits a little bit, and start moving and feeling better until you've recovered and are able to return to your activities with the ferocity that you'd like. I'm noticing that my ramped up lighting is creating you'll notice I look like I got a little halo, even though it's maybe not warranted. So what I'd like to do at this point is I'd like to switch gears. Again, lots of tools available. If you are not joining me through the VIP page and you're just joining me through Life Pro's main page and you are a Life Pro owner, take advantage of the VIP group. It is an awesome place to just vent, share ideas. My way of using Life Pro's tools is simply based on my experience and my personal preference. There is no exact path from point A to B. So, experiment with what you do have and lean on these groups and your other members for ideas. Sometimes we just get stuck in our own head. And then, of course, every Monday I am here. There are also lots of good sessions coming with Roseanne and Amber in the new year. So whether you're looking for fitness, feel good, or a combination of both, variety's the spice of life. We're going to keep you busy this year. So let me scroll down and see who actually joined me today. It is Monday. I hope many of you have the day off. Really depends on where you are. Facebook user, what is the most time you should spend on this at one time? If you're referring to a vibration plate, it really depends on you personally. Just like going to the gym, how long should you spend on a treadmill? It really depends on long-term what your goals are and any deficiencies or issues that you might be dealing with. If you're just starting out with a vibration machine or any activity, I always recommend starting conservative, not necessarily slow. And what I mean with a vibration plate, if that's what you're referring to, is try using it for, a couple of shorter sessions, maybe 3 to 5 minutes throughout the course of your day, and start experiencing the feel good stuff, the soft benefits, the energy boost, the circulation, the lymph that you can obtain. And if you're not coming from a place of fitness, I absolutely recommend surfing through some of the sessions in the media files on the Life Pro main and their VIP group. There's all kinds of ideas that you can search out. Whether you're looking for weight loss, toning, your goals really come into the time and the settings that you apply on the machine. But the first week week or two is just get used to how it moves and feels. And in a lot of ways, you'll progress based on what resonates and what feels good to you. Just use it consistently and you'll start seeing results very passively without a whole lot of effort. I got someone here from Vegas. I use one product daily. Consistency is the key. So give yourself a pat on the back, whatever drove you to that decision to get that product and whatever you're applying it to. I hope that you're seeing some relief. If you are using it regularly, I don't doubt that you are. If you're using some of the red light compression or the vibration therapies that I've mentioned today, our body gets used to anything over time. It's very lazy and it's always looking for the path of least resistance. So, mix things up a little bit. You don't always need to change the exercises or the techniques that you're applying, but if you've been using any one particular setting for a period of time, change it up a little bit. It, kind of confuses the body and, it forces it to adapt and change gears. And if you're using your device regularly, whether it's for feel good or fitness, just changing up the settings or your mode that you're using it in, and using the same positions is a good way to add challenge and keep progression going forward without having to learn a whole bunch of new moves. I have someone here from Tennessee. Welcome. I bet you it's warmer there where I'm coming from today. I have someone here from Vegas. Hello, Lynn. Happy New Year from Buffalo. 2023 goal is to be more physically fit. And good for you. That means something different to everyone. If you're looking at building up strength or cardio, any of the tools that you have now certainly can accomplish the task. It's making sure that you complement your goals with the right exercises and the right type of dynamics if you're looking for cardio and those types of things. Thank you, Lynn, for being the first to commit and put it in writing. And, that's just a mental thing. Sometimes when you write it down, it makes it real. So thank you for doing so. I appreciate you being here. I have someone from Nebraska. I have Christina from San Diego. Would love to be in San Diego. Maybe we could go for a coffee in La Jolla. It's been about 20 years, but that was my favorite place to visit in that area. Facebook user, I have the Rhythm vibration plate. Can I get this? Can I go on this 10 minutes a day for weight loss and muscle strength? Can't walk due to an injury. It's not a time thing. You can certainly, I got to be careful with the machines. There's no definitive number. It's like asking, how long can you work out at the gym? It's going to vary for everyone. But if weight loss is the goal, I hate to tell you, the machine is not going to do all the work. If you're dealing with medical conditions, it's certainly going to bring less impact and exertion to you, the user. But I would encourage you, try to find exercises if weight loss and toning is the goal, to fire up those quads and those glutes, the big muscle groups. That's what's going to burn the most calories for you. And if you have the ability to do something early in the day, as a post-50 woman, the metabolism goes like this. So, you want things that you can do early in the day, not only to boost your energy levels and reduce pain and things like that, but if you do things like squats and some lunges that fire up those big muscle groups early in the day, push yourself even a little bit if you can. That might only be 5-10 seconds. It doesn't mean it has to be a whole routine, but by firing up those leg muscles, it's going to activate and boost that metabolism so that everything else you're doing throughout the course of the day is shaving a few more calories out of that calorie bank. So, if I do anything, I try to get my legs done early in the days to get my energy levels up there. That makes the stairs easier on my bad knee and things like that. But long run, it's keeping the pounds off because I have not been slim my whole life. If you're dealing with issues with the knees or mobility, sometimes, squatting where you can and, doing a little bit of a portion of your session seated, have a stool behind you. And if you get pooped out in that squat, you've got somewhere that you can sit down, but keep it very basic, keep it simple. Sometimes a whole big elaborate weight loss program, it can be intimidating. It looks like a lot of work. The word workout, it's such a turnoff. Workout, diet, there's a lot of negativity with certain words. So you're just going to get moving and you just want to start working on some leg strength. And I think you'll find, even just by adding a little bit of push in the leg department and getting a little bit lower in your range, is also going to equate to getting up out of the chair easier and making stairs easier and building strength while you're burning calories. You may as well get as much bang for your buck, especially if you fatigue easily. And you can do a couple sets throughout the day. If you're only lasting 30 seconds to a minute in a squat, do it a couple times throughout the day and build up to until you're getting up to the minute mark. If you're dealing with arthritis or joint deficiencies, I don't really want you going for long durations. I'd rather you push and get yourself to broke. Exercise isn't always about how long you do it. It's about pushing those muscles to a point where you got to quit. That's how changes occur and progressions begin. If you can't walk, I absolutely recommend, static movements on the machine, not moving, and try a little bit of seated sessions as well. So something that's like a bar height stool where the legs are at a good 90-degree angle versus your hips going downhill, and build up the foundation of the legs and add a little bit of standing if you're able and when you're feeling up for it. It's also a really good way to just get the energy levels up if that's something else you're also experiencing. I hope that resonates with you, and keep me posted. Hello, Gail from Mississauga. I miss Mississauga. I used to spend a lot of time in Hamilton. I have some amazing vibration machine colleagues in the area. Welcome and thank you for joining me. Can we have one video weekly to go over one product for questions and answers? It really depends on the product. There's a product launch anytime a new product comes out. If there's something specific that you're looking for and it's an existing product, there's probably already 2 or 3 videos. Maybe it's just a matter of knowing where the media files are. So Facebook user, sorry, I don't have your name, but there's at least 3 videos weekly. Some of them are workouts, some of them are more product info. Everybody's looking for something a little bit different in how they learn. And between myself, Roseanne, and Amber, we all have completely different backgrounds and styles. So, some of us in our teachings may resonate with you differently. So go to the media files on whatever page you're joining us from, and you're going to see a good mix of product demos. If there's something in particular that you're looking for, please feel free to tag me in this session or make a post in the VIP group, and one of us will take a look and just tag you in the appropriate session if there's something you're looking for in particular. I hope that answers your question without me rambling like I normally do. Great info, Facebook. I don't know if this is the same. People are different. I think focusing on one product at a time helps. I feel all over the place when discussing several products at a time. Just my opinion. And it's a valid opinion, especially if you're just starting with Life Pro products. Some people have multiple products and want to know how to combine them, or the experience levels are different. So it's hard to dedicate one session to one product, especially if it's something people have a level of comfort where we're trying to cater to everyone. But I do encourage you, if you've got a couple of products and maybe you don't want to discuss it in a group situation, feel free to just drop me a direct message or tag me here on what you're specifically looking for more information on. And I'll just find a couple of sessions specific that I think that'll make sense for you to help you get going with that. That's probably the easiest way, because like I say, these sessions have been going on for years. And if there's something in particular looking for, we want to make sure that we're pointing you in the right direction too. Hello, Kim from Campbell River. Happy New Year to the West Coast. Hello again, Gail. I bought my mini waiver back in May and never really used it. Where do I get started? Where can I get instructional videos? Gail, it really depends on what you're looking for, the goals. If you're dealing with chronic issues, if you're looking for fitness, again, go to the media files, and also in the VIP group, you're going to find the files there as well. But there's also a members training site. So perhaps you just need to reconnect with the support folks, and they can get you back on track. If you've never logged into the membership site, maybe you just need to reset, and you'll find that there are product specific how-to videos, anything from getting started to bigger goals, if that's what you're looking. That's great. Part of the new year sometimes is just getting back to where we were. And I don't know if you were with me when I mentioned, Gail, a lot of us are dusting off tools that we haven't used in the past. And sometimes it's repetitive, but if you haven't been doing it in a long time, there's things that we forget, or there's tips that might have resonated with you. And if you haven't been using it regularly, sometimes we just need a refresher. If you are, Gail, dealing with medical issues specifically, please let me know, and I'll make sure that I hunt out some specifics if there's other things in addition to the basic intro videos. That's great. But getting started, and what I will say very quickly, Gail, no medical issues, good. Okay, so we're just getting restarted. I will remind, and I do this myself, sometimes when we're returning to an activity versus have stuck with it, we try to return with the same veracity that we left. So don't overdo it. When you're starting back on your vibration machine, if you've used one in the past, but you've taken a big hiatus, you'll notice with your massage guns, your compression, even your light therapy, sometimes there's an itchiness or pins and needles, and it drives some of you crazy. That's just an increase in circulation and lymph. And sometimes is identifying blockages within or stiff parts within that lymphatic system. So if you're finding that that is crazy intense, reduce the distance between your feet is how you reduce intensity. It's not going slower. The really slow speeds are kind of choppy and wobbly. And again, there's no black and white, but I recommend, if you're just starting back out, bring the feet or the hands closer and ramp the speeds up to a bit of a smoother speed. The faster you get going, the smoother the stimulation feels. And you'll notice that the intensity on that itch. Now I know why I itch. Thank you. And it's something when you're just starting out, a lot of people ask me, some people don't experience it at all. But some do, especially my ladies. And it's usually in those bigger thighs or hips. It's in the fattier areas where we have our toxins deposited. There's detox, there's all kinds of things going on, but the itchiness does dissipate within a week or two of continued use. So if it's absolutely hard to handle, bring the feet close, ramp the speed up, and just shorten your time. Just go for a minute or two and do it more frequently. And you'll notice within about a week, probably two, that the itchiness is subsiding or has dissipated altogether. And then you can pick up your game a bit. Again, give your body time to just get used to this. If you've been using your machine prior, but just took a hiatus, you may notice those things dissipate quicker. Same with the massage guns, same with your light therapies. It's stimulating circulation, maybe at a more localized level. You may also notice, besides the tingling, if for those of you dealing with neuropathy or swelling, you may notice an increase or a decrease in sensation as we improve blood flow and circulation. Sometimes neural pathways start talking better. And if sensation has been decreased, sometimes you notice that pins and needles in areas of neuropathy. Sometimes it's pain. I'm sorry if you do experience that, but it's a good thing to me because at least you're starting to regain sensation. If you are noticing pain or an increase in swelling as you resume, stick with it for the same reason. You'll notice that dissipate and reduce with continued use, but just reduce the time and still give your body that little burst to get things flowing. There's all kinds of newbie things I could talk about, but those are some of the big ones. If you notice you're really, really drained or really, really tired, you'll notice this with your saunas on your first use and your vibration machines and guns if you're overdoing it. So, maybe you used to use a sauna every single day at the gym, but if it's been a year or two, it takes your body time to become accustomed. And if you're using the new blanket styles that Life Pro has come out with, and you're doing it laid down versus seated in a box sauna, your body's in a different position and you're getting a more, I think in some respects, a more total body effect, but it's really easy to just get lazy and chill. So if you're looking at a vibration machine or the light therapies as a relaxation tool, try experimenting not right before bed. Sometimes it exhilarates you. Some of you use it because it relaxes you, but try using a little bit, like at a half an hour before bed, in case it does exhilarate you with that increase in circulation. And, everybody's a little bit different. You're going to have to experiment. But personally, I went sauna crazy because it was so cold here and I was overdoing it and it just knocked me on my butt. So I've been leaving mine till later in the day when I can be in my jammies. So just a little tip for you there. Now I know why I have the itch, was commenting there. That was my last comment. If any of you have questions, if you're getting started with some of these therapies, maybe you've checked in today because you just need a little bit of motivation. Today is Q&A Monday. It is a new year and it's about being a better me. And I want to know how I can help you with that, with the tools that you're using for Life Pro. If there's anything you have been considering and you've had reservations, feel free to reach out. If you are watching this after the fact on a recorded basis, just tag me out and I'll happily dig out a session or address any concerns that you may have. It's always great to do that because sometimes as I ramble and your brain swells because you've heard enough of me, sometimes you reflect and there's something you meant to ask or you didn't think about it till after the session. So feel free to tag me. I will get some information back to you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Probably be something New Year's related or product related. I'm certainly going to get back to. Can you please place the link to the Life Pro group? The link from my original email isn't working. Yes, I'll drop a link back here to the VIP group, Gail, so you can get in there. And again, for any of you that are seeing this after the fact, please tag us if there's something you're looking access to or something product specific you need a little direction with. Let's get motivated this year, one day at a time. We got this, Facebook user says. I think that's a perfect note to end on. It makes me think of a TV show from my youth. One day at a time. But yeah, one foot in front of the other. Don't look through the rearview mirror. Start looking through the windshield and take baby steps if that's what you need. Just keep moving forward in the new year and start dusting off the tools if you have them already in your home. Time to get refocused and remotivated. It's not always a big workout. Commit to change. A better me means something different to everybody. So I hope to be your support, whatever your goals are in 2023. Thank you for joining me. I will end my ramblings at this point and ask you all to have a great rest of your Monday, a great rest of your first week in the new year. And I look forward to seeing you guys on Monday. Kim says she is loving her Life Pro BioRemedy sauna blanket. Oh my God. Kim was a bit of an interesting story. There's so many things that she can't do. She's been a friend of mine for quite some time, and I was really curious how she might tolerate the heat when she ordered that. And I'm really for those of you that can't tolerate heat, Kim's doing really, really well with her blanket. I look forward to seeing long term how she builds that into her little arsenal of Life Pro therapies. She's got a few of them. You're welcome, Gail. Thank you for being here, and thank you for asking me questions. You know, as a woman, I like to think I know everything, but I get caught up in my own headspace too, and my own issues between my bad knee and my arthritis that's ever more present these days. And thank you. You know, I like a challenge too, and sometimes I think I know what you guys are looking for. The biggest way that you guys can help me is to give me the feedback of what you need to help me help you. So stay focused, keep it simple, be consistent. And if you haven't got started, check back in with me on Monday and let me know how this week has gone. You guys have a great rest of your day. Don't work too hard. Happy 2023. I wish you all good vibes.